Céad Míle Fáilte. Welcome to the Treasure Tales of Ireland, a place where you can come and listen to the many myths, legends, folktales, and fairy tales of the Emerald Isle, helping to keep the stories of the past alive. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and I will be your teller of tales. I hope you'll join me each week for new stories. If you enjoy my work, please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Additionally, be sure to explore my other story collections for more tales. Before we begin, please note that if you are watching this with the closed caption feature below this video, many Irish names may not sound the way they appear, and we have made every effort to pronounce them correctly. Now, let's get started. Today, we hear the story of the fate of the Children of Lir. Episode 23, Part 1. Now, at the time when the Tuatha de Danaan chose a king for themselves after the Battle of Tailtiu, and Lir heard the kingship was given to Bodb Dearg, it did not please him, and he left the gathering without leave and with no word to anyone, for he thought it was he himself had a right to be made king. But if he went away himself, Bodb was given the kingship none the less, for not one of the five begrudged it to him, but only Lir. And it is what they determined to follow after Lir, and to burn down his house, and to attack himself with a spear and sword on account of his not giving obedience to the king they had chosen. "We will not do that," said Bodb Dearg, "for that man would defend any place he is in, and besides that," he said, "I am none the less king over the Tuatha de Danaan, although he does not submit to me." All went on like that for a good while, but at last a great misfortune came on Lir, for his wife died from him after a sickness of 3 nights. And that came very hard on Lir, and there was heaviness on his mind after her, and there was great talk of the death of that woman in her own time. And the news of it was told all through Ireland, and it came to the house of Bodb, and the best of the men of Jaw were with him at that time. And Bodb said, "If Lir had a mind for it," he said, "my help and my friendship would be good for him now, since his wife is not living to him. For I have here with me the 3 young girls of the best shape and the best appearance and the best name in all Ireland, Aoibh, Aoife, and Aobh, the 3 daughters of Aodh of Erin, my own 3 nurslings." The men of Jaw thought this was a good idea, and that he had it, and what he said was true. Messages and messengers were sent then from Bodb Dearg to the place Lir was, to say that if he had a mind to join with the son of Dagda, and to acknowledge his lordship, he would give him a foster child of his foster children. And Lir thought well of the offer, and he set out on the morrow with 50 chariots from Fionnuala, and he went by every short way till he came to Bodb's dwelling place at Loch Dearg. And there was a welcome before them, and all the people were merry and pleasant before him, and he and his people got good attendance that night. And the 3 daughters of Aodh of Erin were sitting on the one seat with Bodb Dearg's wife, the queen of the Tuatha de Danaan, that was their foster mother. And Bodb said, "You may have your choice of the 3 young girls, Lir." "I cannot say," said Lir, "which one of them is my choice, but whichever of them is the eldest, she is the noblest, and it is best for me to take her." "If that is so," said Bodb, "it is Aoibh is the eldest, and she will be given to you if it is your wish." "It is my wish," he said. And he took Eve for his wife that night, and he stopped there for a fortnight, and then he brought her away to his own house, till he would make a great wedding feast. And in the course of time, Eve brought forth 2 children, a daughter and a son, Fionnuala and Aodh, their names were. And after a while she brought to bed again, and this time she gave birth to 2 sons, and they were called Fiachra and Conn. And she herself died at their birth, and that weighed very heavy on Lir. And only for the way his mind was set on his 4 children, he would have gone near to die of grief. The news came to Bodb Dearg's place, and all the people gave out 3 loud, high cries of keening their nursling. And after they had keened her, it is what Bodb Dearg said. It is a fret to us, our daughter, to have died, for her own sake, and for the sake of the good man we gave her to, for we are thankful that his friendship and his faithfulness. However, he said, our friendship with one another will not be broken, for I will give him for a wife her sister Aoife. When Lir heard that, he came for the girl and married her, and brought her home to his house. And there was honor and affection to Aoife for her sister's children, and indeed, no person at all could see those 4 children without giving them the heart's love. And Bodb Dearg used often to be going to Lir's house for the sake of those children, and he used to bring them to his own place for a good length of time, and then he would let them go back to their own place again. And the men of Aodh were at that time using the Feast of Age in every hill of the Sidhe in turn. And when they came to Lir's hill, those 4 children were their joy and delight for the beauty of their appearance. And it is where they used to sleep, in beds, in sight of their father Lir. And he used to rise up at the break every morning and lie down among his children. But it is what came of all this, that a fire of jealousy was kindled in Aoife, and she got to have a dislike and a hatred of her sister's children. Then she led on to have a sickness that lasted through nearly the length of a year. And at the end of that time, she did a deed of jealousy and cruel treachery against the children of Lir. And one day she got a chariot yoked, and she took the 4 children in it, and they went forward towards the house of Bodb Dearg. But Fionnuala had no mind to go with her, for she knew by her she had some plan for their death or their destruction, and she had seen in dreams that there was treachery against them in Aoife's mind. But all the same, she was not able to escape from what was before her. And when they went on their way, Aoife said to her people, "Let you kill them," she said, "the 4 children of Lir, for whose sake their father was given up my love, and I will give you your own choice of a reward out of all the good things of the world." "We will not do that, indeed," said they, "and it is a bad deed you have thought of, and harm will come to you out of it." And when they would not do as she bade them, she took out a sword herself to put an end to the children with. But she, being a woman, and with no good courage, and with no great strength in her mind, she was not able to do it. They went on then west to Loch Darvroch, the lake of the oaks, and the horses were stopped there. And Aoife bade the children of Lir to go out and bathe in the lake, and they did as she bade them. And as soon as Aoife saw them out in the lake, she struck them with the druid rod and put on them the shape of 4 swans, white and beautiful. And it is what she said: "Out with you, children of the king, your luck is taken away from you forever. It is sorrowful the story will be to your friends. It is with flocks of birds your cries will be heard forever.
And Fionnuala said, Witch, we know now what your name is. You have struck us down with no hope of relief.
But although you put us from wave to wave, there are times when we will touch the land. We shall get help when we are seen. Help and all that is best for us, even though we have to sleep upon the lake. It is our minds will going abroad early.
And then the 4 children of Lir turned towards Aoife, and it was what Fionnuala said. It is a bad deed you have done, Aoife, and it is a bad fulfilling of friendship, you to destroy us without cause, and vengeance for it will come upon you, and you will fall in satisfaction for it. For your powers of our destruction is not greater than the power of our friends to avenge it on you. And put some bounds now, she said, to the time of the enchantment is to stop on us. I will do that, said Aoife, and it is worse for you to have asked it of me, and the bounds I set to your time are this, till the woman from the south and the man from the north will come together in marriage. And since you asked to hear it of me, she said, no friends and no power that you have will be able to bring you out of these shapes, and you are in them through the length of your lives until you have been 300 years on Loch Darvrock, and 300 years on Shrunamwili between Ireland and Albin, and 300 years at Inish Domnan and Inish Gluare, and these will be your journeys from this out, she said. But then repentance came on Aoife, and she said, Since there is no help for me to give you now, you may keep your own speech, and you will be singing sweet music of the Sidhe that would put the men of earth to sleep. And there will be no music in the world equal to it, and your own sense and your own nobility will stay with you, the way it will not weigh so heavy on you to be in the shape of birds. And go away out of my sight now, children of Lir, she said, with your white faces and your stammering Irish. It is a great curse on tender lads, they to be driven out on the rough time for anyone to be in pain. It is I who put this on you through treachery. It is best for you to do as I tell you now. Lir, that got victory with so many a good cast, his heart is a kernel of death in him now. The groaning of the great hero is a sickness to me, though it is I that have well earned his anger. And then the horses were caught for Aoife, and the chariot yoked for her, and she went on to the palace of Bodb Dearg, and there was a welcome before her with the chief people of the place. And the son of Dagda asked her why she did not bring the children of Lir with her. I will tell you that, she said. It is because Lir has no liking for you, and he will not trust you with his children, for fear you might keep them from him altogether. I wonder at that, said Bodb Dearg, for those children are dearer to me than my own children. And he thought in his own mind, it was deceit the woman was doing on him, and it is what he did. He sent messengers to the north to Fionnuala, and Lir asked them what did they come for. On the head of your children, said they. Are they gone to you along with Aoife? He said. They are not, said they, and Aoife said it was yourself would not let them come. It is downhearted and sorrowful Lir was at that news, for he understood well
It was Aoife had destroyed or made an end of his children. And early in the morning of the morrow his horses were caught, and he set out on the road to the southwest. And when he was as far as the shore of Loch Darvroch, the 4 children saw the horses coming towards them, and it is what Fionnuala said. "A welcome to the troop of horses I see coming near to the lake. The people they are bringing are strong. There is sadness on them. It is us they are following. It is for us they are looking. Let us move over to the shore, Fiachra, and comely Conn. Those that are coming can be no others in the world, but only Lir and his household." Then Lir came to the edge of the lake, and he took notice of the swans having the voice of living people, and he asked them why was it they had that voice. "I will tell you that, Lir," said Fionnuala. "We are your 4 children, that are after being destroyed by your wife and by the sister of our own mother through the dint of her jealousy." "Is there any way to put you into your own shapes again?" said Lir. "There is no way," said Fionnuala, "for all the men of the world could not help us till we have gone through our time, and that will not be," she said, "till the end of 900 years. When Lir and his people heard that, they gave out 3 great heavy sounds of grief and sorrow and crying. "Is there a mind with you," said Lir, "to come to us on the land, since you have your own sense and your memory yet?" "We have no power," said Fionnuala, "to live with any person at all from this time, but we have our own language, the Irish, and we have the power to sing sweet music, and it is enough to satisfy the whole race of men to be listening to that music. And let you stop here tonight," she said, "and we will be making music for you." So Lir and his people stopped there, listening to the music of the swans, and they slept there quietly that night. And Lir rose up early on the morning of the morrow, and he made this complaint. "It is time to go out from this place. I do not sleep, though I am in my lying down, to be parted from my dear children. It is that is tormenting my heart. It is a bad net I put over you, bringing Aoife, daughter of Oileal of Erin, to the house. I would never have followed that advice if I had known what it would bring upon me. Oh, Fionnuala and comely Conn, oh, Fiachra of the beautiful arms, it is not ready I am to go away from you, from the border of the harbour where you are." Then Lir went on the palace of Bodb Dearg, and there was welcome before him, and he got reproach from Bodb Dearg for not bringing his children along with him. "My grief," said Lir, "it is not that I would not bring my children along with me. It was Aoife there beyond, your own foster child, and the sister of their mother, that put them in the shape of 4 white swans on Loch Darvroch, in the sight of the whole of the men of Ireland. But they have their sense with them yet, and their reason, and their voice, and their Irish." Bodb Dearg gave a great start when he heard that, and he knew what Lir said was true. And he gave a very sharp reproach to Aoife, and he said, "This treachery will be worse for yourself in the end, Aoife, than to the children of Lir. And what shape would you yourself think worst of being in?" he said. "I would think worse of being a witch in the air," she said. "It is into that shape I will put you now," said Bodb Dearg. And with that he struck her with a druid wand, and she was turned into a witch of the air there, and there she went away on the wind in that shape, and she is still in it yet.
and will be in it to the end of life and time. And that is the fate of the children of Lir so far. And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey. Slán go fóill. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up and comment. It truly helps us.